Hey guys, welcome to week 32 of the Virtus Performance Podcast. For all of you guys who have been listening for the last 32 weeks, thank you very much for your support. I hope you guys leave every podcast or turn every podcast off with having learnt something and having been able to apply everything that we talk about in your everyday lives. If you have been enjoying it, please share and subscribe. We very much enjoy for the reach to grow and the amount of people listening to it to grow so that we can start or continue to make the world a better place one person at a time. Today I sat down with Carlo Cirillo and Ed Wischer and we talked about all things gratitude. We talked about finding your purpose and trying to enjoy every day and find the little things that you love to do every day and to chase those things regardless of what you're currently doing at that time. It was a very, very enjoyable conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. My personal and business goal is to be just a little bit better every day. I believe everyone, especially normal people, have a story to tell. The Virtus podcast exists to help us all find small ways of consistent improvement by discussing the journey and experiences of each of our guests. Carlo, Ed, welcome to the podcast, week 32.
Afternoon.
Pleasure. What have you boys been up to today so far?
Well, we're having a coffee at the Whiny Cow.
Treat yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
bit of food.
Sorry, common folk.
And you've interviewed Carlo already?
Yes, Carlo has featured once on the Human Happiness Project. It will be 2 times by the new year. I think we're planning.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how we sort of linked up. I thought he was probably one of my better interviews. Very, very good with his introspection, and I thought, he needs to talk about people.
Much head wobble from Carlo at the moment.
Yeah. He's had a bit of experience in a semi-professional sporting field, which I thought was good for Virtus.
Definitely
talking about entrepreneurship. So I just thought it'd be a good theme to link into the podcast.
Beautiful. Carlo, first question for you.
Yes.
What gets you out of bed in the morning?
My alarm. My 7
alarms? You're one of those guys?
Yeah,
I am too.
It's definitely like it's a 4 o'clock or 4:05, 4:08, 4:10 or 4:10, and then it just keeps going until 6 o'clock. And some mornings it's like,
why do you do it to yourself?
as much as I say I'm motivated, some mornings it's just like I need the extra sleep. And then I think I'm getting used to my alarm. It's that alarm one that goes, rah, rah, rah. So everyone in the house wakes up and I just go,
God, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds so familiar.
But now I'm going to change up the song or something like that. I used to have you seen those light ones? The dim alarms?
No.
There's no noise. It just, your room's got to be pitch black.
And it just slowly starts.
Brings light until it goes to really bright, and that's supposed to wake up you.
The sun also does that. But then you can't tell it what time.
You can't rely on that, Lockie. You can't rely on that, mate.
That's fair. And then KP will yell at me for not having the blinds down. Having a pitch black, I'll get in trouble.
Blinds open, sure.
I'm all blinds open. But
it's so much. If the sun's coming up and you're waking up that way, just actually to do with your circadian rhythm, it's way easier to.
Hang on. The sun comes up at like 8 o'clock where I live.
Really?
So what? Yeah, it's still dark until. I suppose it depends on the time of year, but.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I'm finishing at the gym when the sun's still not up yet. So
that's not right. Yeah, fair. Well, from a philosophical sense, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Being alive.
Ooh, why do you enjoy that so much?
It's kind of the Gary V rants that we go on to. It's just like, why not? I see my life as a privilege, and it's just like, I'm here. Why not do something with it and...
I love that.
And live. Like, I don't know, maybe I've been through just my experience of life and my challenges and realizations, and it's just like, I enjoy this thing. You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of it.
Do you think you have that I guess mindset and that view on the world gives you a really good perspective and gratitude about taking every day as it comes?
Yeah, 100%. Gratitude's my
what are
thing.
3 things you're grateful for today?
I would say, do you want specifics or you just
hit me. Give me some specifics.
Oof. am I going to teach you something today?
That's what we're here for, mate.
Excellent. So today I'm going to say, number one, I'm sincerely grateful for the drive all the way out here. So it took me an hour and a half to get here this morning, and it's just like, I was driving, there was no traffic at all. It's a beautiful day outside, and I was driving alongside the beach. And it's like, man, I could be in such a shit part of the world. I could have no car. I could, have no friends to come see. And it was just good. I was just like, man, I didn't have the music on. Just driving. Just
listening and thinking.
Just thinking, had the windows down. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Like, doesn't need to be a Ferrari convertible. Got my Holden Cruise, and I'm like, this is good. Like,
I like that.
I'm in Melbourne, catching up with friends.
Sun's out, and blue skies.
Yeah. Even if it's raining, it's still good.
Yeah, that's true.
Number two would be, catch up with them. That was good. Because the only reason I'm out here is because of him.
Yeah, how do you two know each other?
It was weird. He was interviewing my housemate, and then I just happened to be there. And it was like, hey, who are you? So,
one of those meant to be moments.
Well, it's like sort of something that's happened through the project. I sort of keep on gathering people around me that are like-minded, staying in contact with the ones that have sort of really resonated with me. So Carlo, like I said before, was one of the better interviews, and a very unique perspective in terms of his. You hear a lot of people sort of talking about gratitude, and it sounds very appealing. And as we'd all see on social media, it's it's like a very flavour of the month. A lot of people do it, but he's one of the few people I know. I suppose I know well enough to see that he actually practices it every day. Not just like, you probably heard it when he was driving, like, I'm thankful for the drive, but then he's like, why? Like, he'll tell you why, so he's actually thought about it.
Yeah, rather than just, it was a nice day.
Yeah.
But if it's raining, you still got to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Find the little things to enjoy it. Did that gratitude come naturally, or was it something you've kind of worked out over the last few years?
It was a guy in my life that came in at the right time. I was at a seminar, speak clearly, and I'm sure you've been to different seminars and stuff like that. It was the main guy speaking. It was a personal development type one. Main guy was speaking, but then there was one guy that just, as soon as you entered the room, he was like, hey, like, he looked into your eyes, he was just like, hey, how are you? Like, what's your name? Yeah, awesome, enjoy today. He wasn't the person facilitating, but he was part of the company. And I was like, this guy's something about him. I want to go talk to him. And then after the thing finished, everyone went to the main speaker to talk to, just say hello and introduce themselves. I'm going to go to this guy because there's something about him that I just want to know about. And ended up hearing his story, and he's got a great story as well. And then he asked me about mine, and it was just at that time where, for me, I'd just come out of, I guess, realising that soccer wasn't my whole life, and at that time it had been years of pursuing soccer on every level, and it was kind of, I lost my identity, and then I wasn't looking at it, I wasn't seeing the benefits from it. I was like, I did it, but I did well, but I didn't do good enough, and I didn't make where I wanted to, so that means that I'm going to do that in everything I do type thing. And he made me realise that, why am I grateful for that experience? But then also he took me through a gratitude mastermind, which then had that big of impact on me that I started doing that for people. And then it just, like you were saying before, you can be very surface level with it and say, I'm grateful for life, I'm grateful for my family, but I'm that person that'll dig deeper, because I ask nearly everyone I speak to, what are you most grateful for today? Don't do 3 or 10 or 20 things. What are you most grateful for today? One thing specifically. Deep. If it's family, that's not specific. Who in your family?
And
okay,
why?
It's mum. Okay, why? And then they'll say why, but then what's that specific moment you're grateful for? Because once you get down to that specific, it's like goal setting. Same sort of thing. If you get down to those specifics, then you see gratitude for everything. You can go from this bottle of water to this piece of paper to my keys to my car to the day to the sun to the window. Like, you trace things back for everything to come back. Like, it was coffee. I can't remember which podcast I was listening to, but this one guy has written a book on thanking everyone that had to do with his cup of coffee in the morning. So he went and thanked the baristas. He went and thanked the cafe owners. But then he went to Colombia and thanked the truck drivers that transport the beans, then it was the farmers, then it was the
That's a cool idea.
people
I like
that sell the chemicals.
What's the book called?
I don't know.
Don't remember.
I need to look that up.
I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to find.
It's just you can find gratitude for everything, and the people that I speak to, and it's probably just my I guess the vibe that I get from people. If someone says, if I say, what are you grateful for, and they say, oh, nothing, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm literally ending the conversation or the coffee in the next 10 minutes and getting out of there.
Yeah, they're just like, from a metaphorical sense, they're just looking at the ground, not enjoying everything around them. They're not allowing themselves to look up and, like you said, you could look at almost everything in this room and you could walk outside and do exactly the same thing and look at it, how beautiful it is and how amazing it is and how incredible it is. And you're right, we're pretty lucky to live in this part of the world. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a very difficult thing to be grateful, but a lot of people struggle with it.
Yeah.
What are the main things you learned in that gratitude mastermind that you're able to, I guess, project onto people that you meet?
So it was understanding a deep level of gratitude for everything, and then
just each little
Ed was saying why.
Yeah.
Because it's good to know that one thing, like we're saying, but then getting specific and knowing why, then you can be thankful for it, because that's what gratitude is. Being grateful is being thankful. Then you accept it for what it is, and then for me, I believe that ties back to, being happy, being thankful, being at peace with everything, because everything plays its role. We could be in such different situations if things went left instead of right, or the opposite way. So seeing everything for what it is and appreciating that, you can accept things for what they are.
Yeah, regardless of whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing, because and I'm definitely one that I can say that all of the shitty things that have happened in my life have led to better things happening and led to being in a better spot. And I'm sure you could say the same thing with soccer. Yeah. Like, you're probably in a better spot now than you, like, mentally and psychologically than you were then.
Yeah. So what's one thing for you? This might get a bit too deep for you, but if
good, that's what we're here for.
What's the worst moment of your life? Something that you would go, there's so many negatives to this.
Uni Games Day 3.
Yeah, Uni Games Day 3 was tough, but nothing a Barocca, an orange juice and a McMuffin can't fix, Edward.
Don't remember you having that at all. I'm pretty sure you kept drinking.
whatever works. All for it.
I think, and I've been pretty fortunate to not have any horrific things happen. I think the most front of mind thing is I started the gym with a business partner, Jesse, and we were kind of rolling, and about 12 months in, he pulled the pin and just didn't want to be doing it anymore. And I was kind of in a stage where I was playing footy, playing BFL footy. I was we just bought a house, had just started paying a mortgage, had a girlfriend of a long time. And it was just an accumulation of a lot of little things, but then to go from being 50-50 owner to 100% owner and having to go through the process of buying him out and then going, holy shit, I've got to run this whole thing by myself. Yeah. All of the liabilities, obviously double, and the responsibilities double, and I was kind of like, well, holy shit, what am I going to do? And I look back at that time, and it was a really tough 4 months. Yeah. But now I can look at it and say that was the best thing that could have possibly happened for me and for my business, because one, it made me grow up real quick. Yep. And I thought I was fairly mature and fairly switched on and knew kind of what I was doing, was working hard, and I was to a point, but I found another couple of gears, which was cool. And it's allowed me to, one, learn to rely and lean on people when I need it, but at the same time know when I just need to grab the ball and run with it. Yep. Although that was a shit time, and it's kind of front of mind because we've just hit, I think it's just over a year now. Yep. So that's kind of led to our team growing from, I think, 6 to 14, and the gym growing in terms of people coming in, and we're able to help more people now. So my why of being able to educate and empower people to improve through health, fitness, performance, all of those kind of things has just been strengthened over the last 12 months because I was put in that situation. Yeah.
So in asking that, I would well, you already answered the next question, which was why are you grateful for that moment? And that's where you would either go left or right, because I've even got it here, like it's a quote from Shakespeare: "Nothing is either good nor bad. It is thinking which makes it so." So every event in life is neutral, and as hard as that is to look at, everything's neutral. You just attach the emotion and the thought behind it, which makes it a positive or a negative. Because something to me that's positive could be a negative to you. Now that experience is your experience. Some people will say, "Oh, that's nothing," or some people say that'd be the worst thing ever. Yeah. But it's perspective on what they've been through in their life and all that. So for you, looking at that and saying that's the most challenging, the worst thing that could have ever happened at the time. Yeah. Going back and seeing what you're grateful for, you already said it. Yeah. Like, we don't even need to go deeper on that because you took the lessons from it and you moved on. You could have went the opposite way and got super depressed, upset, given up, and
where would we be? Yeah, and I think that positive mindset, like I probably never, like I doubted whether we'd be able to keep doors open some months and things like that. But at the same time, if you'd asked me if we were going to fail, I wouldn't there wouldn't have been a hope in the world. I would have said anything, but not a chance, because I was so committed and so dedicated to making it work that I was going to make it work no matter what. Yeah. And that's probably, like, to go deeper, it was probably a mindset that's been instilled by my parents and the people around me, because I see how hard everyone else around me works and how much effort they put into all the things they do, and because I'm in that environment weekly, daily, especially with footy, being in that professional environment where you see people working so incredibly hard day in, day out, I was always going to do that. Yeah. And I had the team around me that were willing to, jump on board and come on the ride with me. So it was always going to be that way. And I think that I could have, like you said, looked at that situation as a negative thing, which there were a couple of days there I did. Yeah. But then I was able to kind of pull myself out of that negative thought pattern and go, well, this is a positive thing. It's all mine now. I can make decisions I want. I can, if I fuck up, it's on me, which I love that side of things even more, because I can't blame anyone. And if there's something needs to be done, I have to do it. Yeah. If something fucks up, I have to fix it. Yeah. And that's it's a pretty liberating feeling. Yeah. And I love that. Yeah. I love that side of it.
And it's not coming from the point of always being positive, because there's always the up, down. I think it's being neutral, having low highs and high lows. Yeah. But within practicing gratitude for all those things, you see it for what it is. You accept it for what it is. It happened. Yeah. There's things you can control, like your emotions and your reactions to what happens.
But things are going to happen.
Yeah. If it rains tomorrow, I can't control that, but I can control whether I go, well, this is a shit day, it's a write-off, or... And it's just another day, I'm alive.
So learn to dance in the rain, right?
Yeah. So you took the lessons from it. I think that's what gratitude can help you accept it. See it for what it is, which is just a neutral moment. Mm-hmm. If you want to move forward, which I think everyone wants to move forward and enjoy life, take the positives out of it and move on with it. Learn from it and move on.
What advice would you have for the people that get stuck in that kind of negative thought pattern and just say, nah, it's too hard, it's not going to work, when they're challenged, when they're faced with a challenge, or they're stuck in a job they don't like, or they're stuck in a relationship that's not healthy for them, and they're just telling themselves that they can't get out of it and they're not going to move forward, and they're because it is very easy for people to get stuck in that pattern. Yeah. What advice would you have for them?
It'd be to find gratitude, but I've got to figure out a way to get it out there. Maybe I have to write like a PDF of something on steps to do that. I got taught, because if you can find so many ways to be grateful for whatever situation you're in, you see it for what it is. So for instance, we see it, we were talking about this before, we're working jobs that we don't love, but would you say it wasn't ends for means?
Means, man.
Yeah, it's paying the bills, but we're still pursuing our passions on the side because it's building up to that. And look, I'd love to just quit it tomorrow and start everything else, but bills to pay, stuff to do.
But it's a process. Yeah. Like, this allows you to put yourself in a position to do the other things.
Yeah, and I've worked 30 different jobs. Like, not even joking. There's so many things that I've done, and I could either go, okay, I'm a failure because of that, and I never got fired or anything, but it's like, if I'm in this job now that I enjoy it because I see the good things out of it, but if I was looking at it going, this is bad, like my situation's bad, if I can flip that and go, okay, this is what I'm in at the moment, I don't want to be here, so what can I learn from this, and what can I do to get from A to B?
Yeah.
And then use that as fuel and as tools to then get to B. And then to C, and then to D. Because you might not get to B.
Yeah.
You might go to C. But that's just what happens. So at the same time, it's like, I don't think that, like, look, say, you know, the worst thing that could happen to me would be someone in my family passing away. Like, that'd be terrible. Like, for me, that's the fear of, if I go, fine. But if it's someone that I know, like my family, it'd be terrible. But it's not saying that I'm not going to emotionally feel upset. It's that you look at it from the gratitude perspective, where it's like, I'm grateful for their life that they had.
Yeah.
And what can I learn from that? Maybe it's to have better relationship with another family member or with my friends, or to value life more.
Yeah. And to utilise the time you do have with the people that are still around.
Yeah.
It's just
the big focus is, because some
people
people say that you're always so positive and optimistic. And I'm like, I've been trained optimism from the books I read, the podcasts I listen to, the people I surround myself with. But it's not that I'm saying that's not a shit situation, because if I was to drive out of here and get hit by a car, it's a shit situation.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I survive, I'm going to go, well, I could have died.
Could be worse.
So what do I learn? Hey, maybe look both ways. Like,
but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, if you get hit by a car and you tell yourself, "Oh, I've been hit by a car. I'm going to spend 10 months in rehab. I'm going to have to do all this hard work. It's going to be so shit. I'm going to be so miserable." You're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
But if you go, you know what? I'm lucky that I'm still alive. You know, I'm fortunate that I'm able to spend this time in rehab and get back, and then you're going to be back and moving around and doing all the things you want to be doing anyway. One of the words you said before, identity with soccer, and it's something that I've dealt with as well, with like moving on from football.
I listened to that podcast.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, because it's something that I never really realised that I put so much of my identity in what I did rather than who I was. How did you, I guess, struggle with identity when you moved back from Europe, or?
Yeah. So growing up, like, it was always soccer for me, and fortunately enough, I had a bit more talent than the people around me at local level.
Yeah.
Went to the next level. Had a bit more talent there, went to the next level, and then it ended up me going overseas. So I was known for playing soccer. It was Carlo. I used to have an afro, so it was like the kid with the afro that plays soccer. And every time I seen someone, it was, how's soccer going? How's soccer? How was overseas? How was soccer? How you doing in soccer?
Yeah.
You know, how was the weekend? Are you still playing soccer? Like, that's the question I still get. Yeah. And from going overseas and taking, being grateful for that whole experience of, a lot of things went wrong. A lot of things didn't happen in my favour, and I didn't make professional. And it was hard at the time. But now it's like, well, it put me on a certain path. I met certain people, and now I came back here and said, I remember hearing your podcast about the limits that you have. And as much as I like both of your views on it, I'm in the middle. Because it's like, could I have worked harder? But then it's also like, I had a limit to where I was at that point, and was I working harder? But that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But going into that with the identity, it was when I came back and I realised I wasn't pursuing it for reasons that was meaningful to me. It was basically, I wanted to make it because it was just a childhood dream and being rich and famous. Like, just wanted to play for Australia.
Yeah.
There was and I think that's still fine. If someone wants to do that, go for it. Like, it's for some people that turns them on. For me, it was just like, and I was doing a lot of self-development stuff and listening to people like Tony Robbins and stuff like that. And I loved the notion of impacting someone's life in a better way.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, I want to have businesses. I want to impact people in more direct ways than being a soccer player. And for me, I wasn't enjoying it. Like, because I wasn't enjoying it, it wasn't a passion anymore. It was more like a chore. And then I fell out of love with it. Didn't play for a year, or it happened to be injuries as well. Had a year off, and now since moving back to Mildura, I play local level for the team that I played for 10 years when I was a junior.
Awesome.
And I've had the best season I've ever had. I play Tuesday nights 7-a-side, Thursday nights indoor, and
You're back enjoying it.
I love it because I'm playing with my cousins. I'm playing with my little brother. It's not something I'm going to pursue and chase again, but it's now I see it for what it is. It's a sport that I love, and I can keep that. But before it was, how's soccer going? Well, and even now, what happened with soccer? How come you're not playing soccer anymore? And it's like, who did I have ask? I think it was a guy I used to play with ages ago, his mum, And she was like, what happened? Why aren't you playing soccer anymore? And I'm like, it just wasn't a passion anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I did it, I loved it, but found out I had other passions in life. And for some people, that's hard because they stay in the same thing forever because they don't know any different. They don't want to leave that comfort. And to me, it was like, I'm not going to waste my time on earth doing something I'm not passionate about or I don't see the benefit from. And to me, it was great, and the lifestyle was good at the time, but for now, it was like, nah.
But it was an experience and it's something that's allowed you to move from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah. Got to see the world, got to meet a lot of good people too.
What was it like moving overseas to follow your childhood dream?
Oh, man, it's a story of how that come about. Like I had a car accident in, I think it was 2013 or 14. And then from that car accident, lucky I was survived, obviously. But it was kind of that, people have those wake up moments, and it was like I was seeing a sports psychologist after that because it was still like there was that cloud in my head. And it was like, what do you really want to do? And at that time, it was soccer.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to do this. And I was in a long-term relationship, even though I was only 18. And it was like, what are you going to do? You're either going to regret not going, or you're going to regret, going over and then not staying.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'd rather have the regret of not have the regret of not going and trying. So when I found an agent, went over, but we went over at the wrong time as well. And then, like I said, it wasn't a good experience at the start because every trial I went to was unsuccessful. Just didn't adapt to the Dutch weather and playing style, and just had terrible games. Like it was, those games where you're playing and you're just like, this isn't me.
What am I doing?
Why is no pass going straight? Like legs work. So it just wasn't happening. And then my agent pretty much dropped me on the spot and said, you should go back home and not play soccer, do something else. And for me, that was like, went through a big breakup to go over there and give up everything, leave my family to go overseas, spend all my money and go over there, and then to have your dream, basically, people say, you're not going to make it, you should stop, was a shit moment. But then from there, I, just like you were saying before, I took ownership on myself, found a team, ended up staying there for 2 seasons, and that experience was incredible. We were living close to Amsterdam, the whole culture of all that, I love the Netherlands. It's amazing. We learnt the language. We were driving to Paris on our international breaks. London, it's
pretty crazy.
It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. What are you doing at the moment? So you've come back from the Netherlands.
Yep.
What are your days filled with at the moment?
So now, graphic designer, just basically to get by.
Yep.
And then working on our companies and brands, which is Snackbox Co, and then all the brands that come underneath that.
Awesome. What's your mission with Snackbox Co?
Is to, I guess, with the workplace side of things with Snackbox Co, is to make workplaces healthier. And then with the brands underneath, we've got School Snack Box, which is to make kids healthier. And then with the tailored snack boxes, is to make homes healthier.
I like that.
So just through healthy snacking, no food meals made or anything like that. It's just with snacks, having healthy alternatives than what's available.
I like that. It's really simple. And it's that you deliver them to it, right?
Yeah, so it's monthly subscription type things, whether to workplaces or home or to parents at home to give to kids. It's just taking the ease and the stress and the thought out of what, instead of going to the supermarket and thinking what's actually healthy, reading the back and going, well, I don't know, the sugar is this high no matter if it's natural or not natural.
Yeah. What do I do?
Yeah, what do I do? And I don't have nutritionist or dietitian certificates behind me, so even I was going in there and I'm a pretty healthy dude, I consider myself, so it was like, what's actually good? And then we've found a lot of suppliers and a lot of products that are good, and we just want to take that ease out of it. So if I'm having my co-directors that have 3 kids in primary school, and then my sister that has 4 kids under 6.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, but I see the stress they have in choosing stuff, and it's like, well, it's a niche market, but there's a gap, and I'm going to go for it.
I like it. That's really cool. So you two are basically fighting each other for people's lunchboxes.
Me?
Cadbury.
Oh, yeah, right. I'd like to say that we're winning at the moment. I think we're doing a little bit better.
Definitely winning.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit more of a market share, but yeah.
No comments, going to end up in the fucking glassing here.
It's all right, mate. Just be graceful when you lose it.
Get to a punch. Look, you can take that one.
We'll get there.
I'll kick you.
Do you love what you do at the moment?
I do, and as much we were talking about this before.
Yeah.
I'm in a season in my life where I'm working more than I've ever worked before. So working, graphic design, doing the company stuff, which is there's no paid hours for that.
Yeah.
It's like you said, taking all the ownership. It's yours. There's 3 of us running 3-4 brands. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't get done, it's on me. So I have to put in the hours, and I love it because as much as I'm not getting paid for it, which, a lot of people would see that and go, that's a waste of time. I'd rather get paid doing something else.
Yeah.
It's just that motivation that I've got that I can create a legacy through this. I can create
You're
a
building
business.
something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah. And then even through doing that, there's so many avenues that can come off of that. And there's so many other passions I've got as well that are building on the side of that it's just, I love doing it because right now it's my passion. And it's all like that might change. It might not. I might be the snack king for the, might become that and be that for the next 30 years.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm open to whatever happens.
That's cool. Do you enjoy having that, I guess, openness rather than going, this is what I'm going to be doing?
I see pros and cons. You see some people that are like, I'm doing something and I'm going to cut all ties, draw the line in the sand and give up my job and just pursue that.
Yeah.
But then, more so often than not is people that fail or find hurdles, but then they go, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have cut all my ties. But now I'm like, if I have openness, like we were saying before about the gratitude, if something bad happens, let's say all my companies and brands went to nothing, I'll look at it and go, well, that's shit. I thought this was going to work.
Yeah.
And I've had it happen before in different companies that I was in doing with network marketing and stuff like that. I had massive teams all over the world, and it went to nothing within a space of a couple of months. And it's like, well, I'm still alive. I've got the knowledge that I've got, and what can I take from this to go into the next thing? And that's with everything. Even if you're in relationships, if you have someone and it doesn't work out, you learn the lessons from it. You go to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's the same with the businesses.
Yeah, and it allows you to take every lesson as a positive because you learn, even if you fuck up or the companies don't work, that's just another step towards where you're going.
Yeah.
And on our magical journey through the universe, it's really easy for us to kind of look at something and go, that was shit, I didn't learn anything from that. But now I'm just going to stay here. But you're able to go, well, I'm going to learn from this, I'm going to move forward.
Again, comes back to that, what are the things we can control and what are the things we can't control?
Yeah.
And if for some reason, let's say the government steps in and said, for some reason, we don't want snacks in the world in Australia, for some reason, it'd be bad for both of us. But and they just go, or let's say Cadbury just come in and just go, nah, you're not doing that, we're suing you for something.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, well...
Don't get any ideas, mate.
Yeah. I think it was Jim Rowan or someone like that I was reading it. It's just have the attitude of whatever happens in any situation, just go, interesting, and see it for what it is and then move on from it. Don't react in a such a volatile way that you're not gonna learn from it. So if I'm going, oh, that's interesting. If I meet someone, say for instance, we'll talk about this before, I've met so many just different scale people lately. One was very heavy Christian, and whatever your beliefs are, whatever, go for it. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't accepting to any other belief, and I was like, that's interesting. I want to get to know you because I want to know why you think that. And having that open-mindedness of that is just you get to understand people a lot more and understand those situations that when they happen, you can go, well, whether it's happened for a reason, if you believe that, great. It doesn't matter to me. I think that, the whole Crucero, Sarah, what will be, will be. It's happened. You can't change what happened before.
Yeah, spot on.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Work it out.
But then if you get to know someone deeper, you start to understand their reasoning behind doing certain things. And then you're kind of on the same page and you start to realise that your thinking isn't necessarily completely different to theirs. It's going to link up and there's going to be ties.
Why do you think that's so?
Well, I think I'm someone who's... You
said it before as well.
What did I say?
It was about the hard work.
Yeah.
Why are you so hardworking?
Just me.
Yeah.
It's just...
But what influenced that?
Well, it's probably my parents. Yeah. And my... Yeah. And the environment I grew up in. And obviously people that are heavily Christian aren't necessarily... I don't have numbers. I could make up a stat. I think 87% of fundamentalist Christians are. But I assume they grow up in that environment.
Yeah.
So that's what they know, and that's all they know. And I'm someone that grew up in an environment which was very much believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
We're not going to push you in any direction. Yeah. So I was lucky in that aspect. But I went through a phase where I was very, very anti-religion, and I am still very anti-religion, but I'm very accommodating for anyone's thoughts, and I will talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And having on this podcast and having a lot of really cool conversations with the people that are very religious and are practicing Christians,
have
their beliefs, you start to realise that we're not that different.
No.
Like, one of the guys I had on, Sammy, it was a while ago now, a couple of months ago, but he comes from the church and I come from the other side, but the way we live our lives and the way we think about things and the way we attack business and things like that, it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
We kind of have the same philosophies, just they come from either end. And I think that when you just go, nah, that's bullshit, and close yourself up to it, you're never going to learn, you're never going to allow yourself to adapt, but you miss out on meeting some really cool people. Mm-hmm. Like some of the best people I know and some of my favourite people in the world disagree with me on some really fundamental issues or on how they live their lives or things like that. But then you find common ground and you just think, this person's amazing.
Yeah.
And and I'm sure, like Ed, that's probably something you found through the Happiness Project. When people are able to be open to other people's ideas, they're probably going to be happier.
100%. I think, but you find that on either side of the scale that you see super religious people. Maybe not so in Christianity because it's a little bit more enlightened than other religions. I'm going to tiptoe around that one. But like you see closed off people, and they genuinely are, because they just sort of corral themselves into this little corner where they're always right, and it usually has a sense of their point of view. When you close yourself off, it sort of has a sense of importance behind it, and I guess it's like a negative feedback loop where they sort of believe their own bullshit to the point where like there's just these walls up, and as soon as you don't let anyone in, it's like the sort of things like it's like, I don't know, the dumbest analogy I can think of is like YouTube, where you see something that's aligned with your sort of values, and then you sort of go down this rabbit hole
and you just watch every video,
and then you're like, well, I'm right, obviously. Just closing yourself off, but really you're just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I think it's a very good grounding experience to talk to people with an opposing view of yours.
Yeah, but I can, and from another analogy, if I use my professional development as a personal trainer or strength coach or performance coach or exercise scientist or rehabilitation specialist, whatever like term you use, because there's so many out there. If I just went, you know what, I'm just going to put people around me that agree with exactly what I do, then in 10 years I'm going to be doing exactly the same sessions. I'm going to be teaching people exactly the same way, and like that would be one of the worst things that could possibly happen for me in my personal development and for my clients, because I'm there to help them improve. And I love it when one of my staff members says, why are you doing it like that? Why don't you try it like this? Or, we do a PD that changes the way we think about one of our fundamentals. And it's exactly the same thing. If you stay in that, 3 sets of 10 for everything's the best way to go about it, and you don't have context and you don't have...
It is the guy at the gym said it was.
Exactly. Pick 6 exercises, 3x12, you're welcome.
I've seen it on the net, it's legit, and he lifts weights and he's got big biceps, so he must be right.
There you go.
He's on YouTube, so he has to be qualified.
You can see that with anything. Like I see that with training, with diets, with whether you're paleo, vegan, meat eater, whatever. There's basically nearly proof to prove everything, and there's always someone that's going to disagree or agree with you. So look, I think I seen the other day, it was like why eating a donut a day is good for you. Like it's just there's articles that are going to be up there that's written by no one that someone's going to go, yes, backs up my belief.
Screenshot that, send it to your mates who you eat donuts with, and then you're good. But it's that. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it on maybe Rogan's podcast, and it was just they were talking about flat Earth theory and all the fucking peanuts that are banging on about that. Hey, I don't believe that people actually believe the world's flat. Surely not. Look.
What do you mean?
It is what it is. There's a nice
I know.
But have you have you? I've done my research, mate.
Chemtrails.
Yeah, exactly. But the way he described it was that But he was arguing with someone about it, and he said, well, what evidence do I need to give you to show you that it isn't flat? And they're like, I need pictures, I need this, and I need this. And he did that, and they still didn't believe him. And it's just, but that's that closed-minded attitude of, I'm not going to believe you no matter what evidence you give me.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Anyway,
It's a really, like, we could talk for a long time about this, and there is no right or wrong, because
but there is.
hang on. If you've got a belief and you think that me going to the gym 3 times a week, I'm getting better results than going 5. I'm not right or wrong. It's whatever works for that person.
That's true.
There's fundamental
There's
things
always
that are right.
certain things and
Yes.
ways to tweak it.
Yes, but my whole attitude on that, and I've seen it over the past year, is meet everyone with compassion. And that's something Ed talks about a lot, is have an open, like you said, have an open mind, because, for instance, someone that's grown up in a different environment to me and does a certain thing different to me, I'm intrigued, because it's like, why? How did you grow up different to me?
That decision
and why do you believe and do those certain things? Because I'm me. Like, I've got my own experience, and it's like with you guys. Like, I'm intrigued to know. Like I was saying this morning, what's your morning rituals? What do you do this? Why do you train like this? Why do you eat like this? Like, meet everyone with compassion, and then you learn from everyone, and that's what every conversation I have, I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, but then you as a person, your personality, your like day-to-day living is molded by stealing little bits of each person that you meet.
Exactly.
And, you know, like you talking about the way you look at gratitude this morning, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I love having those thoughts when I'm driving in the car and looking at the sun going down and listening to one of my favourite songs and going, life's pretty good. And it's something that when you're able to, and I hope a lot of people listening to the podcast are able to have that same feeling next time they're in the car, windows down, whatever, and they're actually able to have happiness in that moment. Yeah. Because then they're just learning off other people. How did you answer Ed's question this morning of what is happiness to you?
He didn't ask it. He asked it a long time ago.
How would you answer it now?
Happiness to me would be being grateful, having gratitude, and pursuing things that are meaningful to you, and doing things that are meaningful to you.
I like it. That's really cool. Who are the people that you look up to the most?
I think I've got them for different
areas of your life.
Different areas of my life. Nearly every person I come in contact with, there's something that I admire in different people, because they all bring something different to the table.
Everyone's got a story.
Yeah, and I'd say the main ones are the people I listen to in podcasts for business and mindsets, because mindset's a big thing that I'm just in love with at the moment. Personal development, all that sort of stuff. Tom Barlew, Aubrey Marcus, Lewis Howes, those types of people that, and I'm I do long drives, and I'm always in my car. As we were talking about before, I'm not a reader, but I listen a lot to books and stuff like that. And if I can, it's basically they're my 3 best mates at the moment, because I hear them for 7 hours a day, and they're interviewing people that I'm intrigued by and that have that awareness and consciousness to, whether it's human optimization or business or relationships. I'm soaking it all in, and as we were talking about before, religion, I've heard from all different people. I've got friends that do different things, people that work out, people that eat different things, and I take what I want from each person. Trial, and then what works for me, I do it. And I don't judge anyone for it. And this is where I see people that they meet people and they go, like you were saying before, no, that's right. They have that closed mindset, you're wrong. Who gives a shit? Really, does it really matter if they're wrong? And I've had cases where it's, for me, people will hear my view on something, and I think I'm a pretty open-minded guy. I'm like, look, I believe this, but if you don't, that's okay. I'm not. Let's
talk about why you believe something different, and maybe I'll come to a different conclusion.
Or let's talk about something else, because it's okay to be different. Yeah. And I've had people that are just no, I'm not talking delete.
Yeah. I think we've almost lost that ability to be able to disagree, and then have a proper conversation about it. As soon as anyone disagrees with anyone now, it's probably the online part of it is probably a big reason for that, because you can't actually have a proper conversation when you disagree with someone.
And it's either going to go let's say I look at Facebook, I don't really post much on there anymore because it's a lot of crap. But people will post something and it's either going to be really positive people that support something, or assholes that for some reason write a comment that's just they won't like you said, they won't have a proper conversation of like, you're wrong, go home,
you're an idiot.
Like, and it's like, why? And then how people respond to that, like your reaction to things, like you can control that. What is bringing you to get so angry at someone having, let's say, happiness in their life?
Yeah.
There's some people, you've probably noticed them, where someone's getting results and someone will go, nah, like it's not that good, like it's not as good as what that is, or something like that. And like I do it to myself when it's like I'm working out or in business, I compare, and it's all that, but I don't take it to the level of like negatively influencing myself. Yeah. And I just look at it and go, what's actually happening in that person's head?
But everyone's going to do it because that's just, I think that's human nature to compare and to check, what everyone else is doing. And I think we should be aware of everything that's going on, but we should just focus on ourselves. Like from a business point of view, I couldn't give two fucks about what the gyms around me are doing. Like I honestly don't care, because if I'm focused on them, I'm not focusing on us.
Yeah, you're not worried about any time in Mornington?
Yeah.
There's an anytime in Mornington.
Who? Well, that's look, a good case recently for me was last night. I was talking to one of my mates that we've been in companies together for almost 5 years.
That's cool.
And we're really good mates, and we've always been authentic and real with each other about everything. And we're actually mates. We weren't just mates because of work. Yeah. It was mates because we like each other. And he, like, all this crypto talks coming in, he's making a lot of money, like 6 figures type stuff. And I'm like, oh damn, like inside of me, I was like, because we went through the same journey. We both did well and then didn't do well, and we're trying to find something.
Why him, not me?
I went into my companies, he went into his stuff.
Yeah.
But in my head, there was two sides of it. It was like, damn, I'm so happy for you, man. Like I've seen you go through the shit and go through those challenges and all the life stuff that just went wrong for you, and you've done well, and you've kept kind of like consistent and knowing that something's going to happen, and it's paid off for him. And it took 5 years, like that whole quotes are coming up on Instagram, like it takes 10 years to have that 1 year that'll change your life, like stuff like that.
Yeah, the overnight success that took 25 years and 80-hour weeks and things like that.
Yeah, and like for me, that there was that side of it, like the I'm so happy for you, but it was also like, man, I wish I'd had listened to him when he told me about it the first time. But then again, it comes back to that awareness, not so much gratitude, but it's that awareness of just going, be happy for him. If you've got a partner, yes?
Yeah.
If she goes and eats a good meal and she's really happy about that meal, are you happy for it? Or are you like, why did she have a good meal?
Why didn't you make me a good meal?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing, but that's a mindset. Like, I wouldn't even think about me not having that meal. Like, that's just my way I look at it. But, and I would say, how good is that?
Being a trainer, you've got that trained, not optimism, but that trained almost encouragement to support people, because you kind of have to. If you're putting people down in the gym, I think there's a you wouldn't go, oh, you're a fat shit, like you're doing shit.
Yeah,
but
it's encouragement, but it's encouragement because that's who I am as a person. It's not like, and yes, it's probably learned to a point because of my job and what I do, but it's all genuine. And I genuinely get excited when my clients hit a PB, even if it's higher than my PB. Yeah. Like that doesn't matter, because it's all about them. They're on a journey, and it's just about supporting them. And whether it's KP, my partner, having an awesome meal, and me not getting any, that is what it is. What it is. Like I'm going to say whose quote it is after the recent allegations over the last couple of months, but one of the
Harvey Weinstein?
No, it was Louis C.K. One of his things that he said once in one of his TV shows was, you should never look in your neighbour's bowl to see if you have more than them. You should look in your neighbour's bowl to see if they have enough.
Yeah.
And like that's a perfect quote for me. Like it's if someone is struggling with something, find out how you can help them rather than going, hey, why don't they have that? And that's just a mindset thing. And because there's people all around us that have more than us in certain areas, but then don't have more than us in other areas, and vice versa. So I think it's a really simple, but it's just mindset for me.
Yeah, you're hitting a lot of good feels for me, because it's like that's a gratitude thing. Like, man, I think we've spoken about this on the phone a couple of times, and it's like everyone's got their problems. You're gonna have things that go wrong in life and stuff like that. We were talking about before, and at the end of the day, your problems are probably nothing compared to someone that's got no home, no food, no shelter, no clothing, and yet we're torn on this thing. And that's where gratitude for me comes back in, because it's like I had a friend go through a lot of family issues, And, you know, as much as we're sarcastic and laugh about it now, it was pretty bad at the time. And I'm like, I had a problem at home, and I'm like, oh, my life ain't that bad. Like, look what he's going through. Like,
but that's exactly it. Like, I was able to, 12 months ago when I was going through some shitty times, I was able to have talk to people who were going through much worse times.
Yeah.
And they were able to talk to me about people that were going through worse times than them, and but it's all perspective, and it's all your perception on how you want to look at whether it be something bad happening or something good happening or someone having something else. Like, it's just your perception is going to be reality. So if you perceive, like, if I perceive you with a full bottle of water in front of me and me with a half bottle of water, and go, well, fuck, why don't I have a full bottle of water in front of me? Like, I'm gonna be, I could get really shitty about that if it's in a wider scale out in the world somewhere. But at the same time, you've got water, Ed's got water, Ed's finished his beer. Would you like another one?
I'm thinking about it.
But it's just the ability to look at the people around you and make sure they're okay, and then we can all move forward together.
Yeah.
And that's like, one of my big things at work is being a role model for my staff, because my staff will be role models for the people who come into the gym, and then everyone looks after each other.
Yeah.
And the people that have been coming to the gym for a long time look after the people that are fresh, and it's just this magical cycle where everyone picks each other up every day.
And what a tribe and environment to be in, where everyone's supporting each other.
Exactly, but we've just lost that ability to have communities and have tribes, and I love that word. I love that word, tribe, because it's just a group of people that are there to support one another.
Yeah.
And you take egos out of it. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got to hopefully have a roof over their head. Everyone's got to sleep. Everyone's got things going on, but it's a matter of supporting each other through all that shit. And it's as simple as that.
And on top of that, like, it's being authentic with those people and genuine, that if something's going wrong, you speak up. And I know that when people are going through trouble, it's hard to speak up. You don't want to share, like, hey, I'm broke, or hey, I've got this, because you want to have it. We have this. I want to have an image of myself, but like, for me, I've got my three in my tribe that we're honest about everything. If we need something, I'm like, hey, I need this, and it's always, well, I'm here to support you. Yeah,
but it's having that ability to be vulnerable to to everyone, or to the people around you that I guess are like stakeholders in your life, whether they're friends or family or co-workers or whatever. If you can be vulnerable and actually put yourself out there, you're going to be okay, because people want to help. Everyone wants to help. And that's the thing that, like, I've found we've been I'm fortunately in a position where my team can do fundraisers. We do one big fundraiser every year, and everyone in the community wants to help. And it's as simple as that. Like, if you give them a vessel to do so, people will help. And I think a question for you: do you think people are inherently good or evil?
That's a good one. I think people are just doing what is in their belief system. So it's not good or bad. It's just whatever they think is, and then other people will conceive that as good or bad.
Yeah. So it's all up to perception.
What do you think?
I think a big theme that's been coming up with this thing that I've been thinking about mulling over is the subjectivity of experiences. So when you think people are good or evil, again, that's a subjective sort of thing. So someone might do something to you that is like you see someone speeding, subjectively they're doing the wrong thing to you. Yeah. But you might not know about their child at home who's, there might be, this literally happened to my mother when the Arthur C fires back in like 96 or whatever it was. So I was 5 years old at home, so she was 180 down the freeway, and you think that person's a fucking idiot, but she was risking her life and the safety of others was probably, like, objectively dumb, but it's for her kids. So for her, she was doing maybe not a good thing, but it was justified. But
it was the right thing for her at that time.
Yeah, like Carlo says, it comes down to your belief systems. I honestly think people are neutral, and it depends how you metabolise experiences that happen to you. That's where things like perspective and gratitude and all those sort of things come into it. So it depends how you look at it. So I think that's a problem with people in general. Like you were saying with the water bottle thing, what I couldn't help but think about when you said, I've got half a water bottle and Carlo's got his, is because Carlo hasn't touched his. Where you've been drinking yours. People still do that. So, like, I don't get why, especially as you sort of get later in life, finance is probably the easiest one that everyone can relate to. Like, I don't know why
you know, my best friend's buying a house, but I can't. They're like, well, your best friend's put $50 away a week every week since he was 16.
And you've been
So
eating
that's
smashed
why he
avos
was,
for the last 4 years.
and that's why he was sitting on 50.
But Avo's good though.
Yeah, oh, it's good. That's like I think people are.
But you've got to own those decisions, right? Like if
People don't.
Yeah.
I think it's rare. I think you're probably in a very privileged position in the sense that you surround yourself, and props to you for this, in a position where you have people that take responsibility for their actions. They've got great perception, and that's probably something that is definitely something that's fostered through Virtus, and it's something that I've sort of looked at and thought I want to do, so I've started doing that as well. And same with, I know Carlo does it as well. You surround yourself with people that are conducive to your growth and your progression.
Yeah, well, environment's everything.
Like you were saying before, with Virtus, like you've built that environment. So, but some people just don't do that.
Yeah.
So when you're not in that sort of environment that's conducive to your growth, and it comes back to good and evil, people are more likely to tear people down around them. And I think that comes from a basal insecurity that people have. If you're not secure in your space, whether that's through your relationships, your finances, whatever it might be, you're more likely to lash out and tear people down, because it's much easier to say Locky's got a successful gym because he's got Cam underneath him, he works hard, or man, he's a really good coach, or whatever it might be, or like, oh, he was lucky to get Greg because he's a really good physiotherapist, sort of thing. Like, you can always look for reasons for why people are the way they are in a negative way, but you can also look at the fact that I know you do 16-hour days, and I know you've told me on multiple occasions you wake up and you don't want to get up, but it's always.
But you get up and you do it and you take that action, and you like. I'm like on that point, like especially lately I've had mornings where I'm just like, I don't want to get up, like, but I've got 14, 15, 16 people waiting for me in the gym and I've got to get up. But then I get there and you'll not find me at 7 a.m. upset or sad or annoyed or grumpy. I'll be incredibly happy at 7 a.m. when I've had that session with that crew, because like I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to coach them, because I'm helping them get better, but at the same time they're giving me the motivation to get out of bed. So it's a simple one for me. And I think that one of the really simple things I kind of look at is just mindset on how you view a situation. Like I said before, if you want to get what was the Cadbury chocolate that I asked for the other day and you haven't brought me one in?
Oh, God. Shit, that's why you're so grumpy this morning.
Yeah, correct.
The dairy milk rolls.
Dairy milk rolls. So if I want to have a dairy milk roll at night, right, and I have my dairy milk roll and I went, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have had that. I feel so shitty about myself. I'm going to be shitty all night and I'm going to have that cortisol release and all that stuff that comes with me going, I shouldn't have eaten that, right? But if I go, you know what, I'm going to have this dairy milk roll and I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to move on with my life, like, my body gets the same nutrients one way or the other, but the way my body reacts to those nutrients is going to be completely different depending on how my mindset is, right? And I think too many people, and this is something I see a lot, and I'm sure, Carlo, you see this a lot because of, I guess, the industry you're in with the snack box stuff, is people will have that negative thought process after treating themselves to something nice daily, and it's just something that they get used to, and it's just, I'm going to eat this type of chocolate ice cream and I'm going to feel real shit about myself for the next 24 hours. Then I'm going to do it again. And then I'm going to do it again. And it becomes that feedback loop where I eat this, I feel shit about myself. And that's not conducive to positive body image and self-esteem and all those things that we all look for. But for me, that's just mindfulness. I want an answer for both of you. What's mindfulness to you guys?
I think mindfulness is being, look at the words I'm going to bring out here, is I use a lot in consciousness and awareness. Mm-hmm. Like if you think about it.
That'll sound nice on the podcast.
Again, talking about this before, your thoughts are just your thoughts and your reactions are your reactions.
Yeah.
But you're the consciousness behind those things. So whether you believe you're a spiritual being, have a human experience, or whatever it may be, mindfulness is thinking things and reacting to things, but knowing and being aware of those things. Mm-hmm. So why are you thinking that thing? Why are you wanting that certain type of food? Why are you feeling down about this situation? And then it comes back to being aware of what things are, seeing it for what it is, being for what it is, and then going on from there. So that mindfulness is knowing those thoughts and seeing them for what they are.
Good. I like that. Edward?
It's perspective for me. So it's something that I've tried practicing more because I was never a mindful person. I had a bit of a period where I was sort of just reactive. And
Sure, there was a time at day 4 at uni games at like 2 a.m. that we were pretty mindful.
Oh, I have no doubt, but it was more like, why am I here? Like, it was really
What am I doing with my life?
That was probably the most like self-reflection I've ever had in my life.
Been there.
No, it's just because I've always been someone that's been a bit whimsical with my emotions, and just like if I'm angry, I let myself be angry, and that eventually sort of learn. I think that's a sort of natural process for most people, that it's not conducive to growth.
Yeah.
Or beneficial in most cases. So I think mindfulness for me is perspective from an internal value, like being, I guess, not mindful, but having the sort of reflective tools to be able to analyse what I'm feeling and break it down and see why and see if there is any rationale behind it.
Yeah.
And then again, looking at sort of how I've been living my life. So if I've been really moody recently and I'm going, well, I've been eating like shit, then I know why. So it's just,
Just being able to look at everything at once and look at the whole...
Yeah.
Just look at the whole snack box before you just look at the
Cadbury Dairy
Milk roll.
See that box.
2 plugs. How good. So, I don't know if I've asked you this question, so if I haven't, I want you to answer it as well. What does the next 5-10 years look like for you?
It's interesting you ask that, because I've been going through a process of looking at what is the big goals for those years, and then working back, because it's always that process of you see the top of the ladder, you see the top of the ladder, but you've got to take every step along the way. You can't just jump to the top. So it's for 10, it's hard. It's honestly because I'm so open-minded that
How old are you now?
23.
23.
So I could take on so many different things. I could be a soccer player.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, definitely for three to 5 years, it's definitely working on a company.
Yeah.
Definitely travelling Australia in that coffee van. That idea. That's in terms of business. In terms of life, I think I'll just keep progressing from where I am. But I do have those certain things that I want to improve, like my body image, my health.
Yeah.
Would like to have certain assets in my life. Would like to travel to certain places, but I'm still going through that process of pinpointing exactly what I want. Because right now, like a lot of things have changed. Like this company blew up pretty quickly for us in the past 6 months. Yeah. So before that, it was kind of like, what am I doing? And now with the podcast coming out as well in the new year, it's like there's just so many things that could happen. So what's the main ones that I want to have done, and then work back from there. So still working that out.
I like it.
Sorry for the half answer.
No, that's okay. But I think it's okay to have a half answer with stuff like that, because you don't have to know.
Yeah.
But you're working towards figuring it out. And you might never know, but you'll move from one thing to another and to another and to another. And
I'm open-minded about it.
Exactly.
Anything could happen.
I have no idea at all. Ideally, if by choice, I get my van and then fuck off interviewing people for a year, full year.
Awesome.
I want to try and do someone a day, so 365 interviews in a year.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Be hard, a lot of work, but truth is it scares the shit out of me, and I need to do. I've never been good at doing things that scare me, and I think you learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
So I want to do, I guess, as a general goal, a very general goal, is just do more shit that scares me.
Yeah.
And
excites you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not like I'm just going to go bear wrestling. It's cool as well, but yeah, just doing more stuff that pushes my boundaries, as scary as that is for everyone, and sort of learning from that. Because I do believe you find out who you are in the situations that test you the most, and you can sort of build and adjust from there. So doing more of that.
It's a super cliche quote, and like we've got it drawn on our wall at Virtus. It's just life happens outside your comfort zone. It's a simple, like it's one of those like used way too much.
Yeah.
Super cliche, but
like it's used on girls with their asses and boobs out. Like
there you go.
That's part of it, man.
It's important.
I'm out of my comfort zone.
Exactly. But like that really simple thing, like cliches are cliches for a reason, because there's something that people have resonated with over and over and over again, so much that it becomes overused. But that ability to make that decision and pull the trigger and actually go, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to get in my van, I'm going to start organising interviews, I'm just going to drive around Australia and interview 365 people. Like, I cannot wait to the day that you call me and tell me that you're doing that. Like, how amazing would that be for you? So stop being a pussy and just fucking do it. You know you want to do it, mate.
This little thing called money.
It's not important.
That's a factor.
It's not important.
Oh, it is.
I know. Well, this is going to be one of my questions at the end, but And if that's your final answer, that's fine. But what would you two do if you couldn't fail and money wasn't an option or an issue?
So.
Same shit?
Yeah.
Good question. I ask it a lot to people, and it would be I would travel mine. How I ask it is different. So if you've got 30 days left and like money's not an issue, what would you do with the last 30 days?
Yeah.
But it'd still be the same. It would travel the world with my family, or with the people I love, and speak on stages, big or small, about gratitude. Because I think that for me is just like my impact I want to have on people.
Yeah.
It's just teaching that, because you said it before. You started using gratitude nearly every time you start to speak now.
But that's my growth as a person, my ability to be aware of that. But now I'm not even necessarily aware of it. It's just something I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's just natural.
And it's good because you're seeing things for what they are, but you see the benefits in things. And I think if people can do that no matter what situation they're in, they can use that and move forward. And I think that's...
Is that why you want to start a podcast? Talk about gratitude?
Yeah. And I have some awesome conversations like this here that I think the people I connect with, and that's one of the things that I know that I'm strong at, is just connecting with people and having good relationships. They've got so much to share, and I think that people would get a lot out of, and I think that I'm being selfish, just taking it in for myself and not sharing it out there. So,
well, I was kind of fighting with that, like, with the podcast, because there was a couple of weeks there where some of the amazing conversations I had didn't get as many views or listens as I was hoping for, as I expected, because the numbers were important to me. And then I was just like, well, wait, hold on a second. Like, why am I doing this podcast? Like, I'm doing it to talk to cool people, to have really cool conversations, to meet new people. Like Ed was saying, like, the people that you've met through the Happiness Project and now people that you talk to daily, weekly, monthly, like people that you weren't aware of beforehand. And it's the same thing with me. Like, I've met some really cool people. And I basically do this to hear everyone else's stories and to help me with all the things that I struggle with, and to, I guess, double up on the things that I'm doing well and make sure, like, that I am on the right path. And then if 10, 15, 20, 500, 2,000, 3,000 people listen to it then and get something out of it, then it's a win. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 10 people or if it's 2,000. Like, so I had to check why I was doing it, and that ability to come back to that, and you're starting your podcast because of that why. You want to be able to teach that gratitude. So it's a simple answer, but it's hard to come to that realization sometimes and actually check yourself.
And people might see it as like, I want to start a podcast to make money. And that's fine. Like, I'm sure there's monetary options in doing stuff like that. But
if there are any, can someone let me know?
Cadbury sponsor the podcast.
Already did the last one. Sponsored the last one.
Mate, you gave me nothing. You just plugged Cadbury for 10 minutes.
That's the sponsorship.
I've only got a box in the cutters.
I offered to get you a box of chocolates, and you said not in the gym.
I asked for some milk. This is not the gym. I asked for some milk rolls. Get me some milk rolls.
I'll get you some bloody milk rolls.
Can't wait.
And then they come in the case. You're going to have about 300 in here.
I'll load up. You'll come back.
It won't look as good as what it looks like.
Just a Cadbury truck rocked up next week.
I'd be all about it. I would not be upset. All right, Carlo, I've got a bunch of questions for you.
Yeah.
You would have heard some of them before, and I want Ed to jump in with a couple as well.
Yep.
Because I could keep asking Ed the same questions, but he'll keep giving me shitty answers. First one, have you ever had a defining moment?
Plenty. Lots. Heaps.
What was your most defining moment?
It's a really tough one.
It's an interesting one.
It's a tough one because there's been a lot that have... I think the gratitude. Having that mentor come in and just notice me as a person, but then teach me that gratitude was like, no one's ever done that before.
Yeah.
And that's impacted every day of my life. And now my attitude, my passion, my vision.
It's cool how you can have one thing that changes everything.
Well, this is my thing now that I try to ask everyone. I think, I can't remember if I said this before, but I think I ask someone, if this is the last time you see me, what can you teach me? What will you teach me that I'm going to keep with? Maybe not die or anything, but I just never see you again. What are you going to teach me?
3 sets of 12 isn't the best way to get bigger biceps.
It's working pretty well for me.
Is it like, because everyone has a different view on it. So I had one answer was, I'd teach you how to rip a mad handstand. And I'm like, how's that going to impact my daily life?
Hey, do a handstand and don't smile afterwards, I dare.
But exactly, but that's just how they think about it. Like for me, it's gratitude. I can teach you to go to deep gratitude, like a couple of minutes. So what would be I know I'm reversing the question,
Yeah.
but what's...
My thing would be to...
It's got to be tangible.
Yeah. Mine would be to help people find the things that scare and excite them at the same time, and I have a process to do that. It's my goal setting... Well, part of my goal setting process is awesome. I have kind of like your superficial surface level goals, which is just what, why, how.
Yep.
And it's just a quick conversation and people writing down what they want, why do you want it, and how you're going to get there. And then the kind of deeper goals, what we call ABC goals, which I've done a podcast on, but really, really simply, A goals are what do you have, what do you want that you already have? So it's all based around desire.
Yep.
And it's the A is being happy with what you've got. So for me, I want a performance center, I want a podcast. Cool. What do I need to do to keep those things? I need to keep organising podcasts and recording them.
Yep. And
I need to keep rocking up to work and looking after my staff, my clients. So it's being aware of what you have and grateful for what you have, and then knowing what you need to do to keep that.
Yep.
And then your B goals are really, really simple. They're just what do you want that you don't already have. So for me, it might be, or for Ed, it might be he wants to get a van. He knows the steps to get a van. I could tell him like how to get a van.
Yep.
Save some cash, go buy a van. Done.
Yeah.
The B goals are things that you know the steps to, and if you don't know the steps to, you could enlist the help of your allies, the people around you, to help you get there. So if mine's a monetary one and I want to earn $1 million a year, I go and talk to someone about how they earn $1 million a year. Like it can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then so once you kind of get all the superficial stuff or the not super, like the things that aren't the massive crazy dream stuff out, you go, what do you want that both scares and excites you at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
And that's your C goal or C goals. And then what are 2 steps to get to move towards it? Like if I had to drive to Mildura tonight and I don't know the directions, I'll turn my car lights on and I'll be able to see to as far as they'll go, and I drive to where that extends to, and then it shows me the next step. And it's just about taking one step and then taking another step and taking another step. So for me, my C goal at the moment is to be able to grab a KP and travel anywhere in the world whenever I want, and know that Virtus keeps helping people and keeps growing. Yeah. And I can't do that at the moment, but I know that if I empower my staff to take on more responsibility, and if I look after my clients like they're my family, then I'm going to move towards that third step that opens up, and vice versa. And I think like that's it took me 3 minutes to talk about it. Like that's something that I love talking to people about, and that'd be the first thing, that'd be the last thing. If someone was to come to me and ask me that question, that'd be what I'd give them, because it's... But the cool thing about that is you don't have to... Like, if you want to hang out in your A goals, by all means, hang out in your A goals. Like, you'll get to a point where you go, you know what? I know what my C goal is now. If you don't know what your C goal is, one of your B goals could be find a C goal. Yeah. Like, it's as simple as that. So, yeah, that's my answer to your question.
I'm going to jump in really quickly on that. I went to a seminar 2 years ago with Ben Harvey, and the one thing that I still keep... that I took out of that is... He went through a process of explaining that what he asked nearly everyone, what is something that you do when you feel the most passionate, the most empowered, the most inspired, the most fulfilled in life?
Yeah, that's good.
And everyone was yelling out different things like, you know, when I look after my kids or whatever. But there's a certain action of what's happening. And it's, to cut it short, I'm not going to answer because we're all day, it's when you teach someone something and it improves their life in some way. Every human being gets that... Nearly everyone, I hope everyone, gets that same feeling, whether it's you're a gardener and you teach someone something, an electrician, you're teaching someone in the gym and it improves their life. Me teaching someone gratitude, it doesn't have to be monetary. You can make it monetary, but if that's what gives you the most fulfillment, why aren't you doing it all the time?
Yeah, I like that. Simple. Question?
Sorry. You go again. I've got nothing.
All right, if you could add 5 subjects to the school curriculum to teach year 9s and 10s, what would you put in there? 5. Gratitude, obviously the first one.
Gratitude. Would that fall under mindfulness? We'll go gratitude, mindfulness, financial skills.
Good.
Relationships. And... it's a tough one. I never really thought about it, but it'd be something to do with definitely nutrition. Yeah, nutrition and health. Like, I know it's there. Yeah, but more.
It's not done very well. Yeah, and like there's a lot of really well-meaning teachers and stuff, but we've done some stuff in schools and it's just not taught very well, and it's because there's so much shitty information out there. It's hard to figure out what the good stuff is amongst all the white noise. Yeah, but anyway, it's just the big chocolate companies and stuff. But yeah,
they're pretty good. Wow. Okay.
Not the salesman.
All right.
What do you got for us, mate?
Who's the person you respect most in the world outside of your close personal relationships, and why?
Damn. So it's outside of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Friends and family. That's a very tough one. I would say someone I listen to on a podcast would be like Lewis Howes, someone that I can relate to from going from an athlete and nothing, and then going to something where he's all about helping other people and giving out that that information. Just dedicating his life to doing that, whether it's paid or not, like Tony Robbins, someone like that. It's a tough one.
It's a good question. I love the power that podcasts have to make you feel like you know someone intimately, even though you've never met them. Like one of the girls at the gym who listens to the podcast, she said to me, she goes, I feel like I know so much more about you. Like we've had some really cool conversations. So it's not someone that I don't know. But she said, I feel as though I know so much more about you because I've just listened to, how have we done now? Like 50 hours of you talking. And I don't wish that upon anybody. But and it was a really cool conversation because I'm like, how good is that you know all this stuff without actually needing to ask me?
Yeah.
And you get to know someone intimately without talking to them. Like I feel the same way about Rogan and Tim Ferriss and guys that I listen to a lot.
Imagine if you met them, you'd just be like, hey,
I'm going to meet Rogan.
I know this. That's cool.
I'm definitely going to meet Rogan. When I get to 52 podcasts, I'll move heaven and earth to because that was the goal I set myself, 52 podcasts, one a week for a year. When I get to that, I'll move heaven and earth to meet him, even if it's just a handshake. That's because he's the one that got me into doing this. So
awesome.
It's an interesting one. All right, what are you most proud of?
See, I look at this very differently because I've been asked these questions, and again, so many things, but proud of. They come down to family things for me. One is I'm proud of like my little brother. He's had his own challenges and stuff, plays for the national team for the Pararoos. Just fighting his disability and just making the most of life. But then for me it was also like being in weddings. Being a groomsman in a wedding is like a massive honour and proud moment for me because it's like that person cares about you that much, he wants you next to him. And then it was, being the godfather for my nephew, like
perfect.
Yeah, it's just something really cool that I'm so proud of.
I like that. The flip side of that, what are you most ashamed of?
Oh, fuck. Again, there's heaps. I am ashamed that I used my niceness for manipulation at one stage in my life.
Did you use that? Now can you look back at that time and understand kind of where you went wrong and what you would do differently
100%
now, next time?
100%.
Yeah.
And I'll go into the topic. It was with women. Like, when you know how to communicate, you can move it however you want it. And now, from going through it, it's like, damn, you shouldn't have done that. But if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have learned.
Yeah.
And now it's like, be open, honest, and be authentic.
I like that.
Whereas before I wasn't. So.
But it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
What was the smallest failure you learned the most from?
I thought you were answering that.
No, this is your podcast, mate.
What are you doing now? What was it?
What was the smallest failure you've had that you learnt the most from?
Smallest failure.
Mm-hmm.
Smallest failure that I learned the most from.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Everyone learns from the big mistakes.
But I learnt a lot from.
Whoa.
This is for both of you.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Need some elevator music.
Sleeping in and missing and getting to like our group training late, and like it, and some people will look at this, and again it's perception, and look at this and saying you're a fucking idiot, you just slept in, everyone sleeps in, just move on with your life. But it was one morning maybe earlier in the year, and I slept in maybe 10 minutes, and I would have been 15 minutes late, but everyone was waiting out the front. Like, we had a big group, and I was so shitty driving all the way there, and I got there, and I got the session done. I was still shitty. Like I said before, I'm never shitty at 7 a.m. But I was grumpy, and I was like really annoyed at myself. And then I went and had, I think I went and had coffee with a mate, and then went and sat at the beach because I think I was still grumpy at myself. And I was just like, why am I grumpy? Like, I've got this I've got 12 hours. Like, it was one of my big days, and I was like, I've got 12 hours of my day left. If I'm grumpy now and grumpy all the way through, I'm going to waste this whole day. And it was just like a little light bulb moment that, and I think I wrote a post on it because I was like, all the things that I fuck up, I want to help people learn from it as well as me learn from it. And it was just a simple mindset change, just flick of the switch, just going, well, shit, I've got an awesome day. I'm going to make the most of it. And yeah, game changer. Like, that was not a defining moment, but that was a really small fuck up that changed a lot of different things.
I'm still stuck. Like, it'd be like going out one night when I shouldn't have been. To be up the next morning or something like that. And I learned a lot from it because it was like, don't take life so seriously. And that's one I've been learning a lot lately. And people that do take it so seriously, I'm always, if I know them well, I use my sarcasm.
Yeah.
And just try and break them down and get them to laugh about everything, because it's just, why takes the life so seriously? Like, be passionate, be all that sort of stuff.
If you're not having fun and loving what you're doing, what's the point?
Yeah,
like,
do you know Aubrey Marcus? Do you listen to Aubrey Marcus?
I know Aubrey Marcus. I haven't listened to his podcast much.
Okay, awesome one to listen to, highly recommend.
But he's one I follow and listen, like, read all his stuff,
yeah,
and things like that.
Well, he said it a lot in the past few podcasts, is there's two rules to the game of life, is enjoy it and help everyone else enjoy it too.
Yeah, that's cool. It's simple. I think, yeah, I don't need more podcasts or audiobooks or things in my life. But
that's like when someone recommends a book, I'm like, it's going to add to the list.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I haven't gotten through the first 10 from 2 years ago. So.
Yeah. But when you do find that book that you're like, I have to listen to this, you listen, or I have to read it or listen to it, you jump on it really quick.
Oh, we're flipping it on me.
Yeah, what do you got, mate?
But I'm perfect.
Yeah, you are. That's true.
I'd say the smallest failure. I think it's like and the reason I ask you guys is because usually these things are habitual, and you sort of call yourself out. It's work and expectation. Sometimes I don't work as much as I should, or I feel I should, and that's genuine. It's not like I'm pushing myself to my absolute limits and burning out, and then thinking I should go more. Because, like you said, everyone has different limits.
Yeah.
But it's work coupled with the expectation, because sometimes I don't put in the work that I need to, and I consider that a minor failure. And then and why it's a failure is because I still expect to be somewhere where it would have required me to put in that extra work. So I get it with the project all the time. I want this many followers, or this level of engagement, or I want to do this many interviews this week, and then I don't actively go out and find people to interview, or I don't engage with my audience enough on the page, and there's these things have a flow-on effect. So it's things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to identify the things that are holding you back, because usually they are those subtle things that you don't realise, like the dairy milk roll at night, because it's very easy. It's much easier to validate things that are small.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's the small things that add up to the big processes.
Really itching for a dairy milk roll at the moment.
Yeah. So who sponsored this podcast?
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it in. So, Carlo, if you could invite 3 people to dinner, who would they be and why? Dead or alive?
Branson.
Good.
Aubrey Marcus.
Good.
And Tom Value.
Awesome. I like it. Why?
Well, Branson, because I'm such a business-focused person, like they also come with the mindset and all that sort of stuff, and I really like what they do and how they think. So, Branson would be, Branson.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So much knowledge on everything.
It's incredible, yeah.
Aubrey, because he has done a lot of work in stuff that I don't want to delve into, like plant medicine and stuff like that, and it's hard to explain when you listen to it, but like in terms of ego, controlling your ego and knowing why you react to different things and when your ego's stepping in.
Yeah.
But then when your ego tricks itself to say, no, it's not my ego, it's just happening. But it is your ego saying that.
Yeah.
He just has a lot of knowledge on that, and I really respect that and admire that. And then Tom, because if listening to impact theory and relationship theory, the way I like the way he thinks about relationships, about business, about life, because he doesn't just say business.
Yeah.
He goes through, I think negatively, I think this, but then I pull myself out of it by doing this.
Yeah.
And it's life in general. He doesn't just talk about one thing. It's that whole broad range, and that's why I really enjoy it. Like, I could listen to hours of it.
That's cool. Awesome. Do you have another question? No? Cool. I've got two more for you. What is success to you?
Enjoying life.
Cool. Last one. What advice would you give a 15-year-old version of yourself?
Do you listen to Lewis Howes?
No.
It's very similar to the three truths you'd give someone, like if you're about to die, like three things you'd say. I'd say learn more, because at 15 I was just playing soccer, like girls and soccer.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I just cut my afro off and I'm a fresh new person. Learn more, because not that I didn't pay attention during school, but I was just playing soccer. Like, I could have learned so much more when I was 15 than I did. I played FIFA all the time, like just being a normal kid. Love more, and for a 15-year-old that's kind of like, I love people, but like love your friends, love your family. I know I moved away at 16 from my family, so if I had known to love them more, and I've lived away for 7 years, and now being back there now, it's like, damn, I could have done more, but that's that hindsight, foresight.
Yeah.
So love more, and then believe more, because that's something that held me back in soccer, and in anything I did was the belief, because I guess it still might be a little bit there now, that it's that belief of believing in myself to achieve something, and be holding me back when I was 15, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. I think any 15-year-old could take that advice. Actually, I've never thought about this question, I don't think. 15-year-old me. If you don't want to do something and know that you should be doing it, do it anyway. Like, I remember going, like, I used to run a lot and play footy, and I'd be like, I don't want to go, and then I'd listen to my old man, and we'd go and I'd get something out of it, and like the 7 a.m. thing, I'd never leave unhappy. So listen to my parents more would probably be one. As hard as that is for any young kid to say, like,
they've lived their life before us.
100%. I think when you get to, early 20s, mid 20s, and you're actually able to sit back and go, you know what, my parents were right most of the time. I think that'd be the big one. Listen to my parents more. I was listening to a book the other day. It's actually called Understanding Women, which one of my staff members has been banging on about it for ages, and I'm like, fine, I'll listen. But it talked about when you're dependent on someone, and whether it be a relationship or parents or whatever, you'll find ways to push back all the time, and there'll always be that ways to push back. So I think, like, that's just a natural thing as a kid to not want to agree with your parents, but they're right. If there's any 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds listening, they're right. Just listen to them. And just do the things you want to do. And I think I've been pretty lucky that I've always done that, but just to make sure.
Yeah.
Last one for you. Do you have any? No, he doesn't get one.
I've answered those already.
He has. Last one for you. Do you have a fun fact for everyone to finish off?
I used to have an afro.
It's not a fun fact, right? You've told us twice.
Pretty damn big.
That's cool.
What's a fun fact? I live on a vineyard.
That's cool.
My grandparents have like 40 goats, and it's pretty like farmer wants a wife type lifestyle, but
I like it.
It's different from the city.
Perfect. Mate, thank you very much for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And thanks, Ed, for chipping in occasionally.
Thank you.
Keep inspiring, guys.